So I don't know about you, but I very much enjoyed the John Cena CM Punk main event match that we got here from Saudi Arabia. This was billed as their last ever, match against each other. It was pretty overbooked, especially the last 10 minutes or so. I very much enjoyed that though. I didn't find a problem with it. If you were expecting, something similar to their 2011 matches or 2013 matches, this was not that. Obviously, this is a 15-year difference between those matches, so they're not going to deliver as well. But regardless, I thought that this was, apart from the Randy match, this was probably one of John Cena's best matches that he's had this entire retirement run. And we also got sort of subtle glimpse as far as a babyface John Cena, which is eventually coming. I 100% believe we are going to get before the end of the year. There was subtle hints here between him choosing not to use the championship title on CM Punk, with him helping out CM Punk when Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker came out here, when Seth Rollins tried to cash in. There were many hints as far as would this active heel version, would he do such things as this, right? Because we saw Seth Rollins, he tried to cash in his Money in the Bank contract during this match, but John Cena and CM Punk, mainly John Cena, really fought back at him, took an issue with this, actually shoved Seth Rollins, told him what was he doing, this concerns him as well, because John Cena said on record that Seth Rollins would never cash in on him, but here he is trying to cash in on him. And eventually we see people like Penta, we see people like Sami Zayn, coincidentally no Roman Reigns, which he's taking an extended vacation, I would assume at this point. We probably won't see his ass by SummerSlam at this point, but regardless, John Cena and CM Punk, they end up teaming together. I'm sort of wondering now what the direction is for SummerSlam, because we'll get to SummerSlam a little later, but CM Punk, he extends his hand out to John Cena, and it seems like a felt good moment, and they go in for the hug, and you see John Cena, the soulless look that he had at the Elimination Chamber, he had here as well. He goes to low blow CM Punk catches him, goes for the GTS. Rollins comes in here, hits Punk over the head with the contract, and then stomps him, and then Cena pushes Rollins out, and then Cena gets the cover, takes advantage, 1 2 3, and he dips out of there before Seth Rollins could take advantage once again with this contract. So a lot of things going on here, a lot of moving parts going on here between Seth and Punk. Where is that going? I believe Seth and Punk, as much as I'm kind of over the whole Seth and Punk thing, I think going into SummerSlam, that's probably going to be your blow off match between these two guys. Where does Cena go? Cena, we know now, the penciled in plan now is for him to take on Cody Rhodes, because earlier in the night Cody Rhodes beat Randy Orton in a very good match. Afterwards they did a post-match interview with Cody Rhodes, where Randy Orton had this sort of disgusted look on his face towards Cody Rhodes. And you got to wonder as well what factor Randy Orton is going to play when it comes to SummerSlam. Where does Randy Orton go after this? Does he turn on Cody after SummerSlam? What goes on there? And also Cody, for me, Cody has been showing subtle signs as well of a heel turn. I don't know if that's the play. I don't know if the play is, like I said before, to turn Cody heel and then turn Cena babyface, or what the deal is there. I know a lot of people are calling for a fatal 4-way between Cena, Cody, Punk, and Randy, or something along those lines, because really when you look at it face value, Cena against Cody, I think, I speak for a lot of people here when I say I'm not really interested in something like that. We saw that at WrestleMania 41. I don't really have any interest to see it once again. I know Cody, that's probably what they're going to do though, so he can reclaim the championship. But again, I would prefer to see something else at this point in time. But like I said, we had King Cody. We also go on to the women's side of things. The Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill against Asuka. This ended very awkwardly, I'm not gonna lie. Afterwards, they did a post interview as well with Jade Cargill, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I don't know what it is about Jade Cargill, but obviously the people in Saudi Arabia, they just could not give two shits about anything that went on during this match. I know they want to do the story with her and Naomi, but I don't really think that Jade is really ready for something like that. We also saw Rhea Ripley against Raquel Rodriguez here. This was a pretty standard match, standard, I guess you could say, street fight for what it is. We saw Roxanne Perez try to get involved, try to aid Raquel here. Raquel ate a pretty nasty riptide, an avalanche riptide from Rhea Ripley from the top turnbuckle, and Rhea Ripley got the win. So that was pretty much all that. Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross match. It's it's kind of weird seeing Karrion Kross on these shows, really, because Karrion Kross isn't featured on these PLE shows for the most part. Sami Zayn got the win, which I kind of figured he was going to. There was a lot of people already complaining that Karrion Kross, why did he lose this match? This is his coming out party or whatever it may be. It's like, hey, Karrion Kross, he's going to be featured a lot more. The fact that he's in there with Sammy in this PLE is kind of a good sign regardless. So I think this was fine for what it was. We also saw Jacob Fatu against Solo Sikoa with the return of the infamous man Tonga Loa. I was expecting a Roman Reigns return, during this PLE, or a major return, but instead we got the return of Tonga Loa, and then we got the debuting Hikuleo. I don't know if they're really going to call him that, whatever it may be. Michael Cole was fighting for his life trying to tell us who this guy was. He was like the brother of Tonga. I don't even know if he knows really who this guy is, but Hikuleo is there now. Solo Sikoa is the US champion. Solo Sikoa now is joined by JC Mateo, Hikuleo, and Tonga Loa. So I coined the phrase the midline because this is what this is at this point, the midline rather than the bloodline. But like I said earlier, I'm really more intrigued as far as this whole Cena babyface run goes, because like I said, there was a lot of subtle hints here during the match with him and Punk of him potentially going babyface. So that leaves me thinking, as far as what do we get with SummerSlam? Does SummerSlam look a lot different with Cena potentially turning babyface at that point? Does Cena turn babyface when Rollins cashes in or something? I'm very interested to see, because this whole dilemma with him and Rollins and Punk, I don't really foresee it's really over, but who knows? I could be wrong right now. So let me know what your overall thoughts were of Night of Champions from Saudi Arabia, from the King of the Ring tournaments, from John Cena and CM Punk, the final time. Let me know what you guys thought down below, and until next time, I will see all of you on the next one.